my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here then welcome to my channel, and today we are going to be talking about why you should be reading Gachiakuta by Kei Urana. I have the content warnings I can find linked down below in the description along with links to some resources, and let's go ahead and get right into it. And Gachiakuta follows our main character Rudo, who lives in the slums under the shadows of the rich. And after being falsely accused of murder, he is exiled over the edge of the floating town with the rest of the trash. And in order to get the truth and also his revenge, Rudo is going to have to join the cleaners and battle the trash beasts that humanity has created. So I saw an article hyping up this series a long time ago, and I took a screenshot of it because I knew I wanted to read it based on what that article said. And then that screenshot got buried in the dark, deep depths of my screenshot folder on my phone, and I didn't remember the name. So nothing ever really came of that until I decided that I actually did really want to read the series, and I went out to try and find it. And through the power of the internet, I did find it, and then I found out that it was available to read on Manga, which is Kodansha's official manga streaming app, so I downloaded that and I read a ton of stuff that was not this one before I eventually got to this one. Going into this series, I didn't really know anything about it except that it was shonen and that was supposed to be good and like one of the next big shonen series. And we got off to a little bit of a slow start together, but we definitely got there. And I feel like the reason why we did get there is because of the characters, because it was when this series started introducing them that I started to get super into this, and everything really started coming together for me. And let's go ahead and start by talking about our main character, Rudo, who I honestly didn't really like that much at first, but he has really grown on me, and I really love how much he respects and sees the value in the things and the people that other people have thrown away. And we'll talk more about the magic system and the action scenes later, but he's definitely a huge reason of why I like them so much. And I think his journey has been really interesting so far, and this series also does have a found family element to it as well, and it's been really lovely to see them care about him and also him really grow to care about them. And again, his story has been really interesting so far, and he also does have a mystery element to his character as well. And I feel like combined with that, it's all just going to get even more interesting than it already is as the series continues. I also do feel the need to shout out Engine specifically because he's a lot of fun, and I feel like he really contributes to the overall fun, comedy, charm, and just group chemistry of the series. And like a lot of these characters, honestly, if not all of them, he felt instantly iconic as soon as he was on the page. And there is a lot of really good group chemistry here overall when it comes to the banter, the comedy, and just the heart and charm of this series. Again, it does feel very found family to me, and I love that so much. But I've really enjoyed getting to know everybody, and I feel like everyone has interesting things about them and their stories, even if we don't know them yet. Like, there are a lot of moving parts here and what feels like secrets and different motivations, and that is also the case for the villains as well. And I've really enjoyed just like watching these two groups combat each other and go head to head. It's been really fun. And speaking of, this series does have some of my favorite fight scenes that I have ever read, and I have historically not loved and have struggled to pay attention to many fight scenes in everything, but also definitely shonen series for sure, so when I do get into them, it really does stand out to me, and that is the case for this series. But these fights were so fun, and I also really like the magic system as well, so that definitely helped, because they do really cool and interesting things with these objects in the fight scenes. Like, there are a lot of really good concepts here, and again, the characters' personalities and the comedy definitely do come into play here as well, and I think add to the fun. I do think that the series balances the comedy with the seriousness of the situations that they're in really well. Like, it all really comes to life and comes together. As for the setting itself, there is commentary on trash and what people throw away and just caring for objects and other people, and the class difference both there and when Rudo was living in the slums, and there are just a lot of different dynamics at play here, and you do see how that has impacted the characters and some of the situations that they have been in. The ground also has a lot of different towns and spaces that have been really fun and interesting to explore, especially Canvas Town. And I actually haven't mentioned the trash beasts yet, but they are very much there, and the concept surrounding them, again, is really cool, really interesting, ties into the overall commentary, and also makes for some really great fight scenes. And I know I've said the word fun a lot in this review, but this series is a dark fantasy shonen series, and there are definitely some really disturbing, uncomfortable, and heartbreaking backstories and situations and fight scenes that do get violent and pretty graphic. It's definitely not always an easy, fun read, but again, I feel like everything is really balanced and comes together really well. And I also do feel like the darkness helped attach me to the characters as well and just root for them even harder as they fight to achieve their goals, survive, and help others and make and protect their friends. As for the art style, I really like it a lot, and I feel like everything that I've complimented today, the art style somehow contributed to or enhanced in some way, including the setting, the dark atmosphere, the character designs, what they're wearing, and also maybe even especially the fight scenes. There's some really strong imagery here, and the series also does have a graffiti artist on it as well who just adds to all of that. And just like the details that really bring everything to life and really bring everything together and are a huge part of what makes this series who they are and give them a really strong identity. And that is going to bring us to my one singular complaint about this series: the toilet humor. It's not for me. Not when it shows up in the comedy, and not when it shows up in any or all conversation and banter. And at that point, it's not necessarily humor, but I don't know what the right word for it would be, because they do just incorporate it as part of how everybody talks. And it does, unfortunately, really take me out of things sometimes. But also at the same time, if any series is going to make this work, and honestly has made it work, it is this one. So it does feel like a part of the world building for me, so it's not a real complaint. I get it. I see why it's there. It's just not my favorite thing. It's never going to be, no matter who it is, because if it was going to be anybody, it would probably be this. But I am more than willing to let it go and ignore it, because again, at the same time, it's part of their world building. They make it work, so it is easy enough to ignore most of the time. Okay, so this series is well on its way to a 5-star rating for me once it's all said and done. It's definitely one of my favorite manga series that I'm reading right now, and I am reading a lot of really good things. And while I do feel like the series already does have a good amount of hype and success, they also have an anime adaptation coming out this summer from Studio Bones. And I am incredibly excited for their adaptation, and I feel like we're about to see a lot of this series for a really long time. And if I'm wrong and it flops, I am going to be so sad, but I really do feel like I am correct here. Like, that doesn't feel like a brave or a bold statement to make at all, and I said earlier that the characters felt instantly iconic, and honestly, there is a lot about this series that feels that way. I just don't see a universe right now where they don't have a really successful future ahead of them, and I am very much looking forward to seeing it. Okay, so that is all that I have for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer the question that'll be around here if you want to do that, and hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye!